Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now October 14th of 2023, and given that Bob Iger and his cost containment plan is entering into its second phase, we talked about this, it's going to begin going into effect by early December. That's going to really deeply impact Disney within by the first quarter of 2024. This is going to include the Disney Purge on Disney Plus, including a lot of titles such as TV shows and movies getting removed on there, while also raising rates for Disney Plus. At the same exact time, firing thousands of employees over the course of 6 months within 2024 across the board. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about all of this is that we know that there's a lot of things happening right now with actress Jenna Ortega. We talked about how she's been involved in this ongoing deal with Disney and how she's been only creating more trouble for Disney, and rightfully so. You know, we know that at the end of the day, Jenna Ortega is someone that is more level-headed within Hollywood above many of the others out there, like Rachel Zegler, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Brie Larson, and even Peter Dinklage, who, by the way, is sided with Rachel Zegler. He's about to make a very big statement when SAG strike comes to a close, and he's going to actually defend her through and through about the whole Snow White drama. But apart from all of that, let's go over what's happening here further with Jenna Ortega taking action against Disney. And it is different than what we talked about a couple of days ago about the whole Pirates of the Caribbean fiasco. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. However, this is where matters get even worse for Disney, where given that they are going through endless complications from multiple productions right now, one major development has to do with actress Jenna Ortega, where recently Ortega has been in progress with Disney for setting up a 10-year movie deal between both live-action and animated content. As previously discussed, Jenna shot down multiple Pirates reboot movies, all but one film standing for that franchise. However, recently matters got even more severe for Disney, as Jenna recently cost them millions more by taking action against them further. As it turns out, one deal went sour. Ortega and her team were endlessly attempting to reason with Disney to drop their agendas related to an untitled major animated film that Ortega has been deeply interested in, and Disney knows that they would need Ortega's voice to make the film work as best as possible, as she is the exact match that they were looking for to voice over that role. This film is set to be as big as the film Frozen, and Ortega reportedly shot down this project after failed negotiations between Disney, unwilling to increase her income in the contract for singing onto that major role. Now, we know that there's going to be a lot of singing sessions in this movie, and they want to make it very much like a Frozen epic film. Now, one thing I gotta point out here real quick, guys, is that we know that Frozen was never fully intended to be the next big thing. It was all accidental. You know, it really kind of just caught on to itself. So Disney here, they're trying to do the next big thing, desperately. And we're going to go into the details exactly what this film consists of. To me, it sounds ludicrous. It sounds honestly like just pure nonsense trash. We'll talk about it in a second. But what's even really more revealing about this is how Jenna is really upfront with what she wants and how far she's willing to go before she is willing to back out. And at the end of the day, we know that Disney is in a catch-22 right now. There are many projects where they need specific actors and or actresses to fill in for those roles to make these movies work at their best, way for the audience. Now, we know that Jenna Ortega was their #1 pick after they got rid of Rachel Zegler from multiple Disney projects. She was initially signed on for this role because of her ability to sing. Now, Jenna Ortega, they want her to sing specific sequences in this movie, which is interesting. However, on top of that, Alright, they were unwilling to drop their woke agenda for Ortega's character, which is said to yet be another character that will hold a relationship to the same gender, something that Ortega was not in agreement with. After multiple negotiations, Ortega felt that this project was not focusing on story, but rather Disney just pushing a message, and it wasn't just for her character alone, it was for other multiple characters as well, following that same agenda. Disney is now in a catch-22 as they needed Ortega to voice over the main character of this role for a film that focuses on characters that are placed within people's dreams. Hence why the codename of this project is simply called Dream. The budget for this project was already greenlit by Bob Iger before his cost containment plan went active to be around $250 million. That's roughly $50 million more than Elemental. Jenna Ortega was desperate to obtain this film after learning about the concept and how Disney is working to make it the next big thing for audiences out there. Disney was only willing to provide Ortega a similar income to that of what Rachel Zegler was initially signed on for before she got fired, which is why Ortega felt it was unfair, as she is a more experienced and established actress within Hollywood. Negotiations fell flat due to Iger's cost containment plan, which involves spending less on stardom power. The reason why Disney is now actually going out on millions is that without Ortega and how they are doubling down to push their woke agenda, this will be a guaranteed flop, and that now Iger is looking at cutting back the budget of this film by $70 million total to reduce spending due to Ortega not meeting with a deal and successful negotiations within Disney. This film is planned to be announced during the first or second earnings call by Disney for 2024, where Iger will be sharing minor details about the film to the public and shareholders around the globe. Now, here's the big problem about this, is that it doesn't really sound like that much of an innovative movie, to be honest. It's about characters that live within people's dreams. I'm not quite sure if that is a thing from any other major Hollywood studios out there, animated film-wise. If you guys want to list anything out there that exists that's close to that, to my knowledge, there's not. But we look at a lot of several factors here. The fact that they were sticking to their agendas, their whole DEI nonsense. We've talked about this. They are obsessed with their hypocritical, diversity, equity, and inclusion way of thinking that is, by the way, pushed by Larry Fink and is really fully supported by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, etc. They really want to just push all of those narratives into entertainment, and they don't want to stop. Regardless of what Iger said about quieting down the noise, that was all nothing more than a lie. And even if he was partially telling the truth there, basically what it translated to was, we're going to make things a little bit less woke, but we're going to still stick with that DEI agenda, and we're going to keep pushing that narrative. That's basically what Iger was translating things to at the end of the day, and given what Iger said a couple of weeks ago, it really kind of just goes against that previous statement that he made about quieting down the noise. He is fully in support of doing reimaginings of movies like Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, and really focusing on Sword in the Stone, Lilo and Stitch, and all of those major films, such as Hercules, by also embracing that DEI agenda. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.